Okay, we're all on the same day as when I made my first video about the data centers. P.S. I don't have much makeup on because I got this little thing burnt off yesterday. So that's, if you're wondering why I have a red dot on my forehead, that is the reason why. Okay, so I own Meta shares, like Meta stock, and I try to keep up to date on the news. So I typed in Meta news because I don't know if you guys know, but the other day Mark Zuckerberg announced that he's going to contribute or something like 100 billion or hundreds of billions of dollars towards data centers. So I just wanted to see like any updates on that. So I type in Meta news. You guys, this is what came up. It says Zuckerberg says Meta will build data center the size of Manhattan in latest AI push. Oh my God. Okay, so I was looking more into data centers today and I found, I typed in Canadian data centers and I feel like doing a video on this, but I'll just touch briefly on it. So Mr. Wonderful, what's his real name? You guys know who this is. Oops, what is going on? Wonderful. Kevin O'Leary. So he's building a data center in Alberta that is 6,000 acres and will be using 7 gigawatts of data, I guess, per year, which is, so I was talking about in my past video, 4 gigawatts is the equivalent of 3.2 million US homes, like the average US home. 3.2 million of them is 4 gigawatts of data, or sorry, of power. And so Kevin O'Leary's data center he wants to make in Alberta on 6,000 acres is going to use 7 gigawatts. So that is nearly double. So that is like 6 million homes. The power that it takes for 6 million homes per year is going to be used in this data center alone. And 6,000 acres of beautiful land that is going to be taken from the animals and nature. And, you know, it also makes me question why they are burning so much. You know, you look at the forest fires, how ramped up they've become over the years, how normalized it's becoming for forest fires. And I refuse to watch the news, so anything I hear is just kind of filtered to me through various sources. You know, it's hard to not hear anything. So I have heard there's a really large fire, I believe in Manitoba, or is it in Saskatchewan? Hang on, let's type this in, because this is how much I don't watch the news. I don't know. Okay. Canada wildfire. Okay. Prince Albert National Park. Is that Jesus? Saskatchewan. Okay, you know, where would the best place to build the largest data center ever be? Do you think it'd be like on hills, in the mountains, on marsh? Or do you think it would be on dry, flat land? And where in all of Canada has the flattest land that is like pretty much safest from storms? Like, it's not like coastal land, it's not marshland. Saskatchewan. And when you start to research how large these data centers are, you have to understand that they need this land all as one unit. So when they're making a center that's 6,000 acres, you know, they're making this huge compound. They call them campuses. They're not doing like a little over here and then letting a forest and then a little over here and then letting some houses and a little over here. No, it's one huge conglomerate. It's one huge area that they are taking solely for these data campuses. So they need it all together. And when you think about these large masses of land, how are they going to always find these areas that have this much land and it's flat, right? So I believe, and what I feel is that they could potentially be choosing where these fires are going for these centers. It's just something that popped into my mind today. I just find it really weird. Um, yeah, and like I follow Kevin O'Leary and I always liked him. I mean, I know he's like very interested in politics, and I think he's like, I don't know if he like wants to be a politician, I'm not sure. He's like definitely more conservative. I believe in his values for the most, like what he preaches, like what he says. I usually tend to agree with him, but now that I see this, I feel completely different about the guy. Like I had no idea he was into this stuff, and like to do that to a country where you're from, never mind to do that anywhere, but to do that from or to your own country and to destroy the land like that is absolutely sick. So sorry, I totally got sidetracked. Okay, so I'm gonna read this article about Meta and how oh my god, sorry, I have so many articles open. What was the one I was just going to read? This one. How they said that they're going to build the data center the size of Manhattan. So Mark Zuckerberg proclaimed that Meta would spend hundreds of billions of dollars on developing artificial intelligence products in the near future. To that end, construct a data center planned to be nearly the size of Manhattan. The parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is among the large tech companies that have struck high-profile deals and doled out multi-million-dollar pay packages to AI researchers in recent months, some as high as $100 million, to fast-track work on machines that could outthink humans on many tasks, a concept known as superintelligence or artificial general intelligence. Its first multi-gigawatt data center, dubbed Prometheus, is expected to come online in 2026, while another called Hyperion will be able to scale up to 5 gigawatts over the coming years. We are building multiple more Titan clusters as well. Just one of these covers a significant part of the footprint of Manhattan, the billionaire CEO said. He was also pointed to a report from industry publication Semi-Analysis that Meta was on track to be the first AI lab to bring a gigawatt-plus supercluster online. Zuckerberg touted the strength in the company's core advertising business to justify the massive spending amid investor concerns on whether the expenditure would pay off. We have capital from our business to do this, he said. The company, which generated nearly $165 billion in revenue last year, reorganized its AI efforts last month under a division called Superintelligence Labs after setbacks for its open source Llama 4 model and key staff departures. It is betting that the division will generate new cash flows from the Meta AI app, image to video ad tools, and smart glasses. D.A. Davidson analyst Jill Luria said Meta was investing aggressively in AI as the technology has already boosted its ads business by allowing it to sell more ads at higher prices. In recent weeks, Zuckerberg has personally led an aggressive talent raid for the Meta Superintelligence Labs, which will be led by former Scale AI CEO Alexander Wang and ex-GitHub chief Nat Friedman, after Meta invested $14.3 billion in billion dollars. In Scale, I guess that's the company, Scale AI. Okay, Meta has raised its 2025 capital expenditure predictions to between $64 billion and $72 billion in April, aiming to bolster the company's position against rivals OpenAI and Google. It's just crazy, you guys. So I'm over here today, mind blown over what I'm discovering with the data centers that already exist, and then the one that they're building in Brazil, where they're tearing down 700 hectares of the rainforest for this data center. And I'm learning about the one in Alberta. I'm freaking out over that. And then I get this news, the size of Manhattan. So for me, when I envision our future, if we're still alive, I envision just like how they show in the sci-fi movies in the future, basically, where it's just like concrete everywhere, no nature. It's almost like dark. And it's just like, just these buildings, these towers, like everywhere you go. And it's just so crazy that this is allowed. And, you know, if you know how everything functions and operates with these people, there's no stopping it. These people do control everything, the politicians, everything. There is no recourse for us. Like, you might think, oh, you can start like a petition or you can start a movement or like riots, or not. It's not going to matter, you guys. Like, there's so much money backing these people, and these people have the most power of anyone in the world. They're connected to everybody. They have so much money, everybody can be paid off. They're tied in with BlackRock, which is the wealthiest company in the entire world. Like, these people have so much money and power. It is absolutely frightening. And I just think that, like, nobody's talking about this. Like, I know the word is not nobody. There are people, but it's extremely minimal. And I really think that this is stuff that needs to be talked about and shared and looked into. And I really, really think that we are at a time where the absolute least you can do is this. I also think that for a lot of people, they're so afraid to talk about this stuff, and I don't know why. I think it's societal conditioning. I think you're conditioned and you're brainwashed. But I think that's what's keeping a lot of people quiet, that do know, that do want to say something, that do want to share something on their Facebook, that do want to say something to their friends. They're so afraid of being judged and being looked at like they are, you know, like, oh, you live in fear, or like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, like, you're talking crazy, you don't even make sense, like, yeah, right, like, you know, it's not going to be that bad, like, that stuff is so far off in the future, we're going to be dead by then, you know. And that's not true. This stuff is coming within a few years, and most of it is already here. They just need to finish the activation. That's how close they are, and they even say this themselves. So it's time to just stop caring what anybody thinks about you. It does not matter. This stuff is what matters. This is the biggest threat humanity has ever encountered. This AI merge humans, merge with machine or whatever, transhumanism, which is not a conspiracy theory. And if you want to research this further, if you're a person that just hasn't, just type in transhumanism on YouTube. Type in like transhumanism like Ray Kurzweil, or just type in transhumanism. You will find so many things from legitimate people talking about this and how it's not very far off. They say we will merge with machine by 2030. That's terrifying. So, and that's what they want for us. They either say that we are going to either merge with machine, or machine will take us all out. So they say the only option is to merge with machine. It's absolutely terrifying. Okay, I will see you in my next video.